I've been taking photos and videos for some 20 years, and I can tell you that whether you have the latest flagship, a flagship from 2 years ago, or any other phone or camera, you can easily tweak some settings to make the photos look really good. What does it mean? Well, you need to learn what settings, filters there are in your camera's phones, and then tweak them to your own liking. That's how you do it. Now, photos taken with one camera may look very different than photos taken from the other, especially when you swap them, exchange them between the devices. Unfortunately, there isn't much that we can do, but we can get the best out of the photos. So I'll show you how it's done, how to get the best out of the photos and out of your camera. So let's do it. Okay, that's the view of my Oppo camera. Fairly standard normal view, and the photos already look good. If I take a photo, it will look more or less like this, and there will be some improvements, but this has got some great filters, and one of them is radiance. I just love it. It makes the sky a little bit bright blue, the greenery just pops up, you know, it's amazing. And yeah, some people say, oh, but it doesn't look like reality. Well, I don't care about reality. What I care about is to make my photos and videos beautiful. So there are various filters to choose from. I like the vivid one as well, and probably food, and a few of the film ones, they're also quite good. But mostly I do original, radiance, or I turn on AI to enhance things. Now AI and non-AI, very similar, there's just a little bit of enhancement. But as I said, I'll just pop in the radiance filter. So that's the advantage, and you should be using those filters to tweak the camera to your preferences. Now, Oppo has got this a bit of a disadvantage, let's say. It doesn't allow me to put those filters in any order I can, which is annoying. And also there is no slider that can be used to adjust the strength of a particular filter. So that's a bit of a nuisance. Also, I can turn on HDR. Now, although it says HDR, auto HDR, there is no proper HDR in this phone. Whatever photos I take, even when I look at them, or even if I take them as 10-bit HIEC, is it called HEIC format, 10-bit HEIC format. So there is no difference between these photos and any other photos. So that's no good. So it doesn't really support proper HDR, as opposed to Vivo, which does support it and makes a huge difference. So we'll talk about this in a moment once I switch to Vivo. So have a look at this video. It's just beautiful, huh? Original again, radiance, serenity, emerald, and vivid. So let's swap from vivid to original again. It's a shame that I cannot just actually I can, from vivid to original I can, but then anything else, it just disappeared, you know. So that's what it's like. Let me take a photo to show you later on. Now, this photo will not look as good on your phone as on my phone, and also or on a desktop. Unfortunately, this is always tweaked in a way so it looks great on a particular phone. There isn't much we can do about this. Well, such is life. Enhancements, okay, and then let's look without AI. That's what it's gonna be like. And if I turn off HDR, will that make any difference? We'll see in a moment. The one advantage Oppo has over Vivo is this dual video mode, and this can be round, or I can configure it to be, actually let me stop. I can actually make it, let me show you, split or oblong, rectangular, and move this picture around, and as it records it really well. Yeah, I just press record and the video is being recorded. Now, what I don't like about Oppo, it's not very clear that I'm recording. I can see at the top now there is a counter at the top of the screen, and this button changed at the bottom, but it's not super clear that I'm recording. It's very annoying. There should be some, I don't know, red dot somewhere else blinking, or the whole frame, you know, but that's on most phones, I guess, and cameras. This mode is by far my most favorite. So small dot there, and me just showing things and talking to people. And I can use zoom too. I cannot go to any higher zoom in this mode, which is fine because it only supports zoom to this phone anyway, natively. So there is one main lens, the zoom 2 lens, and a super wide lens, which I can't use in this mode. Now Vivo is crashing it regarding its phone, the screen, the photo quality. So this is the normal, I mean, there is a vivid, textured, which I haven't found a good use for, and natural. Natural is for people who like to have the picture look more or less like it looked in reality. That's not me. I like it vivid or even better. So what Vivo has got those really cool filters. So let me take one photo, then I'll take just for those who want to see the so-called natural, bang, and then I can use the filters, grapefruit, night breeze, and I can actually adjust the strength of those filters, which is really something nice. So this is no filter at all. It's vivid by default now on filters, I guess, and then I can just dial in and make it like really bright, you know, according to the situation and my preferences. And sometimes I prefer to do it at 40%, sometimes at 25, and sometimes more. So it all depends. It's a very good thing to have. The other good filter that I really like here is the black current. Again, it's a little bit strong, but in some situations like night, it could be quite useful. Or just if I set it to 20, it gives this extra boost to things. So let's take a photo. And this island filter, it's kind of similar to radiance on Oppo, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Are we still recording? Yes, it's not the same, unfortunately, but well, what can I do? Again, yogurt, macarons, etc., and strength. I can adjust the strength, and this is very, very important. Grapefruit, I sometimes use this filter in some situations. It gives very interesting pictures. Okay, so let's take it, and no filter whatsoever, and that's also very, very good. What other settings are there? If I switch to different modes, so let's say I can do a panorama, and the panorama here is much better than on Oppo. We'll compare it later, but we've got a dedicated food mode, which obviously does what it says, and it's really good at it. And then I can configure actually what I have in this menu to a degree, to a very high degree, or I can always go, oh no, this is not what I wanted. I can go and choose something from this menu, so I can add things from what you see here at the top to this menu at the bottom, and I can do it in both Oppo and Vivo to a degree. There are some limitations, but very few. Portrait mode is very useful. It's got lots of filters, like beauty filters. You can have natural, or you can choose smooth, and when you choose smooth, you can actually choose other things. This is a nonsense, and you can actually tweak the settings of how strong they are. I don't do that, you know. I just use where is it, natural or none at all. And when you take postures, let's do data network. Yes, postures, then we can, it will guide me, you know. So I need a model actually for that, and it will guide the model to some pose positions. Then we've got casual, couple, friends, downtime, etc. So all really cool stuff. What else? Portrait. In portrait mode, again, I can go to these settings and have some extra stuff like that. Various filters. Really a lot to choose from, and it's worth experimenting, you know. Bang. The other option is the bokeh and the type of a bokeh, so I can adjust it and the strength of it as well. So f1.4, so very shallow depth of field, or f16, a wide depth of field, or we can turn it off, so strong, kind of in between. Let's set it in between. And then what kind of a bokeh do I want, you know, Zeiss cinematic, or okay, in this mode it has to be in this different screen format, Zeiss flare. So that's interesting. This mode is very good for portraits as well. I took a few portraits of a friend of mine and they looked great. Obviously you need to be careful with framing, but they do look great. This is another option. These are shortcuts to various lenses and settings. So portrait, typical, then it will zoom in, then another type of a zoom, same zoom, different colors, and a close-up in the end. So lots of cool options. to play with. And you should be using them because they are very useful actually, and they may increase a lot your creativity, and they just, you know, they are fun to use very often. It's important to remember to reset those settings afterwards because they persist. Actually, you can set it, you can go to the menu and see what persists. Set it here, I mean, what persists. Where is that? Yeah, so we've got this thing that says keep settings, and then you can check what settings you want to keep permanently. I like to keep everything there. I'm going to disable portrait mode status because that's what I want to reset every time, you know, actually. Okay, so this is it basically regarding Vivo photos. Now let's look at videos. With videos there is much less to do, to set actually, so we can choose the portrait mode if we want to. Now I've noticed that it's very often important to actually set it. If we don't choose this, the portrait mode, the skin tones looks a little bit funny. Maybe it will be improved in further updates, but other than that, okay, we are in photos. So let's look at panoramas. So the way the panoramas are done in Vivo are very cool. So the way to shoot a panorama in Vivo, it's simple. So we go to a panorama, press the shutter, and then we gently turn or turn the phone, stop again. If there isn't a lot of light, then we need to make sure that we really do it slowly and really stop, and then just stop, and the panorama is done. And this is the result. There are no extra settings for panoramas, unfortunately, but well, they look really good. They look really good. Now, in this photo you won't be able to see, but the clouds here are really bright. This is the proper HDR, and when there is the sunshine, the HDR is even better. The sun is almost dazzling me. So you won't be able to see it because I'm not recording it as HDR and I'm not publishing as HDR. And also, this is usually only visible on the phone itself. So if I send you this photo, even the original photo without any changes, just the original file, and you will open it on your phone, you won't be able to see this brightness, most likely, because all manufacturers, they use different standards of HDR. They're not compatible, so it doesn't work. Even if I open the same photo in Google Photos on the same phone, it all disappears. So this is really strange, you know. Well, that's how it is. So we've got 3 HDR standards for video, but no standards HDR for photos whatsoever. Every manufacturer does their own thing, so each to their own. Okay, let's go back to panoramas on Oppo. Okay, so here how we take panoramas on Oppo. Yeah, we go to panorama mode, and then we press the shutter button and just start moving in one direction. Again, stability is important, especially in low light. Now during the day it's okay, but at night it's important. And also it may be important to stop every few seconds, or slow down, not necessarily stop. Now I can either press the shutter button to stop, or I can just move in the other direction and the phone will stop by itself and the panorama will be created. Okay, it's still processing, maybe. Okay, it's done. Again, we can't change any settings, we can't add any filters here. This is a shame. These are the only settings available, so general settings, nothing specific for panorama, but it's great. I love panoramas. And again, let's go to and use the radiance filter. I really love it. Sometimes serenity, sometimes emerald, sometimes vivid, but radiance is by far most creative here. Really beautiful mode. Yes, highly exaggerated, but beautiful. So on Oppo, as I said, Google Photos is exactly the same as on Vivo. I can just choose a photo, go to edit, and then start editing exactly the same way. Now, what's worth mentioning is because Oppo has got slightly smaller screen, I can have 3 photos, or I can have 4. I can have 2, but on Vivo that's not possible. I can only have 2, 2 or 4. I cannot have 3. I'm guessing it's because Vivo has got slightly
bigger screen, and that's how the app manages that. And the app here for managing for editing photos, it's called actually Photos. So Oppo Photos. Yeah, I get the let's take it, choose different one, and I click edit, and again we've got various options. Adjust, again automatic, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Well, this photo cannot be saved, really, it's not that great. Somehow it's not, it doesn't look very good. How about this one? Maybe I am now spoiled by Vivo, but this photo doesn't look good anymore to me. Oh wow, what have I done to myself? Let's choose something different, maybe this one. Yeah, edit, adjust, automatic, compare. Yeah, that looks much better. Again, we can adjust things, we can have filters. I don't really use filters here that much, but again, if you have this phone or similar phone, look at all the filters, go through them, because some of them will be useful, especially for some photos. Others will be kind of boring. I've used this one a few times, but so worth experimenting, you know. Oh, this is cool, huh? Before and after. So let's see, I save it, and now I have an option to save, and it's asking me whether to save a copy or replace a file. I'm just gonna, I always save a copy. Okay, so this is basically how it's done on Oppo. If photo editing is concerned, but video as well. You can edit videos here in a similar way. So here, this is Vivo. I can have 4 or 2. It will not allow me to have 3 no matter what I do. I keep trying and it's just not allowing me. Yeah, so Vivo is allowing me to have even 5 of them, whereas Oppo only 4 maximum, but then I can't have 3. I can only have 4 or 2. So, well, go figure. It's probably something to do with the app itself and how it handles various screen sizes. Now, the other thing worth experimenting is if you go to the native photo app, and then here you can actually change the size of the photos as well, how many columns, etc. So on Oppo, I can have many more columns actually. So on Oppo I can have a ridiculous number of columns, whereas here I've got 2, 4, 8 only, yeah? Whereas on Oppo, I don't know, 16, 25, I have no idea. It's really crazy.